Starting. Here we go. No dirty talk. Shh.
Please identify.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. This one I wanted. Here we go. Shh.
The following is a Galactic Network podcast. For more, go to gncast.com. That's GNCASTS.com.
Do you see what I see? Fire in the sky. You are full of shit. Please don't wait on me. I'm not 1 in a million. This has got to be a dream. You crazy kid. There ain't no such thing as an alien.
You got that right. Thursday, September 15th, 2016. Yo. Welcome to the Alien Invasion numero 194. A Galactic Network podcast. I'm Dave Nelson along with Brad Ludwig and Anessa Moyens. You're both here. Thank God.
Yeah. Last week was terrible.
It sucked.
Yes, it did. But for me, whole other reason.
We won't go into that any more further. Let's not expand on that at all, okay? We'll just leave it at that. No more discussion needs to be had on the topic of what happened last week. Hi, Anessa and Brad. How you doing?
Excellent.
Good.
Are we ready to talk about extraterrestrials?
Maybe.
I think so.
And their appearances in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and real life. Are we?
Sure.
I think so.
Are you ready to do it in 3 sections? The news, the sightings, and the picks for the week?
No. Yes, absolutely.
Are you ready to thank Monkey Warhol for providing the theme music?
I am, and I'm ready to rumble.
Okay. Well, if you guys are all ready, let's start the show with the news.
In the news.
All right, Bradley Ludwig, you're up first.
Normally I do the science bits, but this stood out and I needed to talk about it because it's one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies ever. The title of the story, How H.R. Giger Made Aliens Monster Beautiful and Terrifying. And this story comes to us from Wired.com. When Alien hit theaters in 1979, the monster on screen was unlike anything moviegoers had ever seen. The film's deadly parasitic xenomorph was terrifying and grotesque, yet graceful and stunning. I wanted my alien to be a very beautiful thing, something aesthetic. Production designer H.R. Giger has said of his creation, a monster isn't just something disgusting. It can have a kind of beauty. Now, Giger is a Swiss artist, known as much for his darkly surreal paintings for his cinematic work. It's the subject of a new video essay that explores how his background in design informed not just the appearance of Alien's titular interstellar stowaway, but the look, feel, and pacing of the film itself. The video, made by Christian Williams, is a reminder of just how brilliant Giger's Academy Award-winning design work was and still is. Now, Giger ended up working on the film's entire production design, and he's quoted as saying, "Down the line, I realized it made a lot of sense this is from Ridley Scott, I apologize, for Giger to design everything that was to do with the alien. That includes the landscape and the spacecraft. Giger's morbid biology meets industrial touch can be seen everywhere in LV-426, but his alien was the showstopper." Williams says that Giger himself fabricated the costumes, which made good use of his industrial design background. Every piece of the costume was considered, from the mouth-breathing apparatus on its back to the fact that its acidic blood required an acid-resistant exoskeleton. Fun fact, the costume incorporated real bones, human and animal.
Ew.
There you go. Giger built these xenomorphs' lips from condoms and nestled a real human skull into the tip of the alien cylindrical head.
Ew.
As the video points out, Giger's aesthetic has become so acknowledged it has its own adjective, Gigeresque. In a time where monsters are the result of clicking around on a computer, it's no wonder we're still in awe of Giger's wildly creative alien. Like all movie monsters, it's a product of an artist's imagination, but it's a whole lot scarier when you can actually reach out and touch it. That was our prom theme.
I didn't realize that he was that involved in everything. I thought he was just the artist of the basic design of the xenomorph, not everything else.
I did too, and that's why I thought this story was kind of important, because it really illustrates that, and you can check out this bit of information at wired.com and find out more about this production. So
I think they did a really good job carrying that design aesthetic throughout all the films. Especially, I want to say, what was the Prometheus movie when they went into the cave, aka the spaceship or whatever it was, right? That was a spaceship in the cave. Cave spaceship.
I own it. Haven't watched it yet.
Okay. That's right. You have the advantage of watching the director's cut too.
Yes.
From all accounts, is way better than the theatrical release.
Yes. From what I am led to believe, this is the case.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we were here, that we could set the record straight on.
Heck yeah. Boom.
Have you seen any of his other artwork besides the Xenomorph?
Yes, I have seen some of his other paintings and things like that, and they do have a similar feel in their design. And let me...
Is it stuff of nightmares?
Some of it, yeah. Let's...
Are we doing something together? Are we going to...
Actually, I am going to share the screen for just a moment.
I was going to say there's one called The Penis Landscape.
There is. And here you go. This is some of his artwork. We're just looking at Google image search right now and just kind of flipping through some things.
If you're listening to the podcast, you should really check out the video at youtube.com/Galactic Netcasts.
Here we've got
babies.
Baby faces. This is a museum bar.
Wow.
For the H.R. Giger Museum. But like, here's some of the design work of the alien.
That's basically a penis head.
Kind of.
Well, he made that just Sea of Penises or whatever it was called. I forgot the name already.
Whang! So there you go. That
very phallic.
Yes, it is very phallic.
It is incredibly phallic. But you know what? It will not be forgotten design-wise.
If you want to know more, we've got a link in the show notes, and you can explore the topic further. Also, if you'd like to kind of not pay us back, but if you would like to contribute to the network because you think that we do such a damn good job, there's a couple of ways that you can do that, because we have costs that we have to pay for on a regular basis, including web hosting and audio hosting. These are things that need to get paid for in order for us to bring you the podcast. Now, you don't have to contribute. It's completely optional, but if you do want to contribute, there's two different ways of going about it. First, go to gncast.com/support. There you go. gncast.com/support. On that page, you'll find two links. The first is to the Patreon campaign, which you can contribute as little as $1 a month. It comes out of your credit card. It's easy peasy. The second one is you click it, you follow it to Amazon, you do some searching for a product that you want to purchase, and then about 4% of that, the purchase price, comes back to us. Another easy peasy way of helping us support what we do here at the Galactic Network Podcasts. So again, go to gncast.com/support. We appreciate your support of the network. All right, let's talk about this, shall we? Alien Nation remake in the works. Are you both familiar with the Alien Nation?
Yes. It's an incredible movie.
I've not seen it.
And we're not talking about
The
the
TV series.
or the country that Donald Trump wants to make. Alien Nation.
Wouldn't
Well,
that just be Mexico?
I'm sorry. Hang on. Oh, wait.
I like that it sounds kind of like a mariachi.
A little bit. It's
Yeah, I
fun.
was thinking that too. I guess I misspoke. It's the country that he doesn't want to make, right? He wants to do the complete opposite of that.
Who knows what he wants to do?
So, according to Deadline, director Jeff Nichols, known for Mud, Midnight Special, and Loving, I don't know any of these movies, is set to write and direct a new version of Alien Nation for 20th Century Fox. Those are all fancy pants Academy Award nominated movies, right?
Probably.
Sound like it. I'm so unrefined, guys.
That's okay.
Give me like-
But you probably have fancy pants somewhere.
I do. I bought some fancy pants today. They look
Nice.
They look like pants I've never worn or I've never owned ever. I'm very excited to show them off.
Like right now?
Check out my
Hey,
pants.
check out my pants.
I'll be right back. I'll go get my pants. No.
Okay.
The original 1988 sci-fi film, which tackled the issue of racism and is still pretty relevant today, starred James Caan as the cop forced to work with a new partner who's actually a member of an alien race, played by Mandy Patinkin.
Patinkin.
Yes. Those aliens, called newcomers, arrived on Earth in a new future, 1991, when a ship carrying over 300,000 people or 300,000 enslaved aliens crashed, with them being assimilated in Los Angeles after years in quarantine. The movie was even adapted into a TV series the following year with Gary Graham, who would later portray a couple of people on Star Trek, I think, as I recall.
Yep.
What did he play on Star Trek?
I remember the face. I don't remember the names.
Yeah, I think he played maybe an alien or two and then like a humanoid. I forget. Anyways, so he played the character that James Caan originally portrayed, and then Eric Pierpoint was the alien TV show.
He played the the Vulcan ambassador Soval on Star Trek Enterprise.
Right.
Let's see. He was once considered for the roles of both Benjamin Sisko and Captain Janeway
Oh, wow. Interesting.
before the decision to make Janeway female and Sisko to be African American.
So it sounds like he has a long or had a long relationship with the Trek people.
Yeah. There he is. I'm just looking at some pictures of him as Soval, but he's had a very, very interesting career. He was in one of Movie Man Mark's favorite films, Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
Yep.
Oh, hey, by the way, speaking of Mark, he does the Movie Man Minute in the new Galactic Radio podcast. So you guys have to totally subscribe to that at gncast.com/subscribe. It's gonna be a bi-weekly podcast. So we had an episode last week. Won't have one this week, but we will have one next week. So check it out, and you can
Apparently, I haven't been paying attention. I had no idea Movie Man Mark
Surprise!
was doing a podcast on the network.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
he's a part of the magazine format of
yeah,
Galactic Radio.
Ah,
he's one of many people that contribute to the show.
neat.
So, anyways, are you guys excited about this?
I'm not, just because I haven't really seen the original, so I'm interested, but I'm not like excited.
I do want to see it. I'm going to have a hard time, though, comparing it to... I mean, you had James Caan and Mandy Patinkin. How do you top that? I don't know. But I would be interested to see how they do that.
I normally am not. Well, okay. Let me back that up. I was going to say I'm normally not a fan of remakes, but I kind of am actually when it comes to the stuff that I'm interested in. Like, I was not a fan of the reboot of Fuller House. I guess that's not really a remake, but anyways, like, I wasn't a fan of the 21 Jump Street remakes. But this one I am looking forward to, just because I think our society, especially right now, could use a movie like this.
Yeah, there couldn't be a better time for this movie to come out, frankly.
Yeah, because it kind of shines the light on the issue of racism, segregation, that kind of stuff. Kind of puts it in a different perspective, and people realize that, hey, maybe I should respect my Muslim neighbors, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's a good time for a remake of this movie. Plus, it's an interesting concepts that are actually being done on TV now. There's a great, and it was a pick of mine. It's called Aliens. It's in Britain. Not at all the same. Well, it's sort of the same concept, but kind of with a different angle, different twist to it, where a ship of aliens crashed. They're in quarantine, but it's not particularly the cop teaming up with the alien. It's the same situation, but different. I highly recommend it. It's very, very good.
Huh.
But we'll keep you updated on this. Hopefully we'll have more news on this very soon on the Alien Nation remake. All right. Before we move on to the third and final story, don't forget you can follow Galactic Network on Twitter, like our Facebook page, or subscribe to us on YouTube, on the tubes. Find us by searching for Galactic Netcasts on all the major social networks, or click on the icons at our website, gncasts.com. Now, Anessa, you've got the third and final story. What do you got there?
Well, Roswell. That's what I've got.
That's a thing.
It is a thing.
Roswell.
Roswell. Roswell. Roswell UFO and alien corpses were stored inside top secret Hangar 18 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So apparently not Area 51, contrary to popular belief. Following the alleged UFO crash at a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico in July of 1947, several whistleblowers, including military and civilian personnel, have given eyewitness testimonies indicating that debris, alien technological artifacts, and corpses recovered from multiple UFO crash sites were transported secretly to Hangar 18. And as mentioned before, it's in Area B of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, WPAFB, northeast of Dayton, Ohio. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base was established in 1948 through a merger of Patterson and Wright Fields in the site of experimental flights by the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur. The Air Force Base is believed to conduct highly classified defense projects. According to UFO believers, alien technology reverse engineering projects have been ongoing at WPAFB and Area 51 in Nevada for decades. It is rumored widely that Hangar 18 at WPAFB is the country's most restricted installation where debris and alien corpses recovered from Roswell and other UFO crash sites were stored. Claims that debris, alien corpses, and alien survivors recovered from the crash sites were transported secretly to Hangar 18 have been corroborated by multiple whistleblower testimonies. UFO researchers claim that the climate-controlled facilities and deep underground cryogenic chambers were built at WPAFB to preserve debris, alien technology artifacts, and corpses recovered from UFO crash sites. According to UFO researchers and linked documents and whistleblower reports, they suggest that about 14 to 16 alien corpses were transported to WPAFB. It is less certain how many alien survivors were rescued from crash sites or if any of the survivors are still secretly living at the restricted Air Force Base. But it is claimed that at least a few survived and may have been forced to work secretly with government scientists and engineers to reverse engineer alien technology covered from crash sites. Suspicion that the authorities were covering up information about a UFO craft and alien corpses recovered from the site can be traced to conflicting information released to the media after the alleged incident. Initial official reports to the media said that a flying saucer or disc-like object had crashed at a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. The authorities later withdrew the statement, saying that the crashed object was only a weather balloon. The Inquisitor reported in June that immediately after the crash at Roswell, Colonel William Blanchard at the Roswell Army Airfield ordered Lieutenant Walter Haut, his information officer, to issue a statement to the media that the debris from a crashed flying saucer had been recovered near Roswell. Military authorities sent Jesse Marcel, an intelligence officer, to secure the debris. He allegedly transported part of the debris and fake debris of a weather balloon to Carswell Air Force Base in Fort Worth, Texas, currently the site of the Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base. But according to UFO researchers, before the fake weather balloon debris was sent to Fort Worth, the real debris and alien bodies had been transported to WPAFB. There were several eyewitnesses, lots of eyewitnesses that I deleted from the article. So if you want to learn more, you should go to inquisitor.com because it's really a lengthy article if you can't tell already. So starting with Sergeant Robert Porter, he claimed to have flown the UFO wreckage to Texas. And this is according to Earth Mystery News. Lieutenant Robert Shirky and Sergeant Robert Smith claimed to have witnessed and helped to load the debris on the B-29 flight from Roswell to Fort Worth, according to the Roswell UFO Museum. They claimed the crashed object was a lightweight craft made from an aluminium looking material. Sergeant Frederick Benthal, a photographic specialist, claimed he saw and photographed UFO wreckage and corpses, according to the Roswell proof. Based on eyewitness accounts, UFO researchers believe that the 5 alien bodies were recovered from the Roswell crash site. Captain Oliver W. Pappy Henderson claimed before he died that he flew 4 alien bodies to Hangar 18 at WPAFB in a C-54 cargo plane. The 5th body was transported to USAF mortuary service at Lowry Field, according to Unexplained Stuff. They got a lot of sources. The 5th body, my last one, General Brigadier Arthur Exon, former commanding officer at WPAFB, is probably the highest-ranking military officer to claim that an alien spacecraft and alien bodies were recovered from Roswell and transported to WPAFB. He admitted that his testimony was secondhand, but insisted that he got his information from reliable and trustworthy first-hand sources. He claimed he visited the site a few months after the incident and saw impact impressions. He was convinced that something significant happened at Roswell that the authorities tried to cover up. U.S. authorities have denied allegations that they are covering up UFO evidence, but UFO researchers insist that the U.S. Air Force program, Project Blue Book, initiated soon after the Roswell incident, found evidence supporting cover-up claims. According to UFO researchers, the cache of files pertaining to Project Blue Book released online was incomplete. Phew.
That's a long one, Anessa. Congratulations. Good job.
That's what she said.
I was like, phew. So, yeah, if you want to read more about the witnesses, like I mentioned before, it's located on Inquisitor, or it's from Inquisitor.com. So we'll have the link up in the show notes.
There's quite a few of them there.
There are. Like I said, I was talking to Brad. I'm like, I've deleted like half a page, and I feel like I've deleted nothing.
So what's your conclusion, Anessa?
That there's something fishy at WPAFB.
Is it fish?
No.
Oh.
Not saying that it's fish, but it's aliens.
Brad, what do you think?
I don't.
I think it would be just as likely at Hangar 18 as it would be at Area 51.
Is this one of those cases where you want to see proof before you come to any kind of conclusion?
Kinda. But, it's one of those things where, are they going to get photos of that? Probably not.
Yeah. What was that?
Sorry, my water bottle's really loud.
Like, is there an alien back there?
Yes.
Yes,
there is.
yes, there is. I can do it again.
No, thank you. Oh.
It sounds like something dying.
All right. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not going to believe wholeheartedly until I actually see some undisputable truth, which I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I was going to say, I don't know that would ever happen. Unless our overlords show up and they're like, hey, by the way, this is all that we're doing.
Well, I mean, Hillary seems like she's all in on the whole unveiling the veil of mystery over the alien conspiracy. So maybe she gets elected. That's another reason to vote for her. Vote for her. I'm not saying
Find out the truth.
Yeah. Otherwise, other candidates might want to just build a wall around them and call it a day.
True. All right, let's move on. And how we do that is by playing this.
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
Black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering mimic.
Shaped like almost like between an egg and like a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
It had a dome. I could see the occupants in it.
It appeared to be rotating, and it was circular to disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
Make up your mind. Circular or disc? Egg or teardrop shape? Come on. All right. These are your sightings. People who have claimed to see possible alien craft, or otherwise known as UFO. So it's Brad's turn to bring a sighting to the show. What did you bring to us today?
I brought something very interesting from New Jersey. New Jersey. This happened in 2010. 3 witnesses observed large, silent, boomerang-shaped object moving quickly. Now, this was reported to MUFON, and we are going to go through what actually happened. This happened August 11th in 2010, and here is the summary. A very large boomerang-shaped object tracked across the sky in a northeasterly direction just after full dark. I wish I had not waited months to report this, but until recently, did not know who to report it to. I saw a television program that described your field researchers, and I like that you set your scientific and observational standards. I do not like wild speculation and absurd conjectures. Oh, God, that's just blah, blah, blah. All right. There were 2 other people with me who saw the strange object. I will leave their names off of here for the time being. They live nearby. Oh,
God. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It was between 8 and 9 p.m. Checking the time for full darkness at the time of year should shore up some, give you a more approximate time. All right. I was facing north toward my companions as we stood there talking. The evening was pleasant and had grown dark. It was not unusual for us to stand outside and talk, although we were about to say goodnight. One of my companions was looking behind me and saw it first. She made a gasping noise or other sound.
A guffaw, possibly?
While looking into the sky behind me. I turned to see what she was looking at. We live about 20 miles from Philadelphia International Airport. This is a wonderful aside. In the town of Richwood, New Jersey. And frequently have large number of commercial airliners flying overhead. I expected to see something of the sort. What I saw was very different.
Dum, dum, dum.
I'm sorry. I turned to look south and saw it almost immediately, or at least the impression of it. I also said, I also saw a rather surprising, said a rather surprising swear word, which I would not oh, good God. The object was moving quickly in a north-northeast direction toward the Delaware River and Chester, PA. And at first, it was just a suggestion of movement because it was black against black. It was simply a different shape of black flying with no lights on at all. The moonlight caught on the shape and revealed it as a sharp-angled boomerang without further detail to the surface. Let's see. I'm trying to take out the hyperbole and BS out of this thing. I have seen stealth bombers flying in the desert, and they are huge. This object was at least that large, but I felt it was larger still. The stealth was my best suspect as I racked my brain, but it does not make sense. For a stealth to be that large, it would have to be too close. Why would a bomber be flying so low in a densely populated area? A stealth can easily fly above local air traffic. Flying without lights would be extremely dangerous around this crowded airspace, even if you were training the crew in radar evasion. That part is speculation, as I do not know if they even do this sort of live training. We saw no evidence of exhaust, but I believe a stealth does mask that. If it was that close, we should have heard it. I doubt that even a stealth can be that silent. I have not been able to think of an easy explanation for this object.
This person needs to learn how to focus.
Yeah, a little bit. But there you go. Richwood, New Jersey, 2010, a boomerang-shaped UFO in a rather busy airspace.
That would be a little trippy if you were just standing there with your friends and you just looked over and obviously the object didn't have lights on it, like running lights. And the only way that you would see it would if there was lights reflected off it.
Yeah.
That would be a little freaky. It's like, what did I just see? You know, that whole black on black thing just kind of just very eerie when you think about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Poor birds, too. Just flying along, all of a sudden, bam!
Bonk.
What the hell did I just run into? All right. Well, thank you, Brad. And lesson for you people that report to MUFON. Think of your thoughts through first before you start writing it down. Think it through and then start writing. That's my only advice. All right. If you have any questions or a comment about anything that we have talked about on this show, we would love your feedback. aliens@gncasts.com. That's aliens@gncasts.com. You can call our voicemail number. That's 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966, or go to gncasts.com/contact. We read, listen, and appreciate all of your feedback. All right, let's do a little picks and warnings. Looks like you guys have the same one.
We do.
Gearing up for the new season, it looks like.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
And our pick, not a warning, our pick is CBS, now CW's Supergirl. It's on Netflix, season 1 in its entirety. And we don't watch network television. We're cord cutters. So if it didn't appear on Hulu, and I'm not paying for I've made this abundantly clear.
Yes, you have. We don't need to go over this again, but you can, outline it. You can outline your dislike.
I'd rather be stabbed and set on fire than give CBS my money.
Okay, now we can carry on.
Yes. So now that the entire season is complete and they're gearing up for season 2, they have released it to Netflix, and we are now able to watch the season in its entirety. And it's not unlike, it's somewhat similar to Supergirl's reintroduction in the early 2000s in the Batman Superman comic. And just as a brief bit of history, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, they killed Supergirl. She died fighting the forces of the Anti-Monitor. Supergirl, they kind of changed history a little bit, and Power Girl sort of assumed bits of Supergirl's role in history once they healed the timeline. Then in the 90s, I want to say it was the early 90s, Peter David got the opportunity to bring back Supergirl. But in this case, it was an alien who had the shape-changing, the ability to shape change. And she had some other somewhat similar powers. And she took on the persona of Supergirl. And her costume is the one that they use for the DC, the Justice League Unlimited cartoon.
Now, okay, when this being appeared, was she trying to pretend that she was Supergirl, or did they just say, "Oh, that's Supergirl"? Did they just assume it was, or what was the deal?
It's been a little while. I remember that her original name was Matrix. She was a let me just a second. There we go. So, she was from 88 to 2002. Is that right? No, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So she was introduced in 88. Wow. I totally have that completely wrong. Okay. She arrived on Earth and she was taken to Superman's parents, the Kents, and they raised their daughter, Matrix. They called her May. But she became delusional, believing that she was Clark, even assuming his form. After a fight with the real Superman, Matrix came to her senses, but concerned that she might become unstable again and cause the Kents harm, she fled into outer space. After many adventures and after playing an important part of Panic in the Sky storyline, she returned to Earth. She met and fell in love with Lex Luthor, disguised at the time of his own son. Oh, God, yeah, that was a whole... Lex Luthor was dying from kryptonite exposure, so he cloned himself and had his brain put into basically a younger version of himself, this clone. Yeah, okay.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah. So then she assumed the role of Supergirl. We're not going to go into that any further.
This has been very interesting, though. I've learned a lot today. This is part of the DC universe that I never knew about. So
yeah,
thank you, Brad. Good lesson.
But okay, so what ended up happening though is they did away with that character, and there was like a multi-year kind of a pause, and then they reintroduced her as she was in the early days as a cousin of Kal-El. They changed things up just a little bit so that she is... Back in the day, there was Supergirl and Superboy, right?
Yeah.
When they reintroduced Superman and changed things in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, they brought back Superman, but he was now an adult. There was no Superboy. Mm-hmm. So what they ended up doing is they changed things slightly so that she was lost in space for a number of years. They left at the same time to escape the explosion on Krypton, but she was lost in space and landed on Earth many years after she was supposed to.
That's very similar to the TV show.
Yes. So that has remained the same. There are some other changes, and here, this is where I'm going to give a spoiler alert. We're at the point now in episode 9. I think it was episode 9.
9 or 10.
Yeah.
I forget.
There's a character named Hank Henshaw, and he is in charge of this Department of Extraterrestrial. It's the DEO. I can't remember what the O stands for right now. Extraterrestrial operations, whatever. In the comics, Hank Henshaw was an astronaut who was a part of a crew, and not dissimilar to the Fantastic Four. They end up having an accident and getting lost in space. And he ends up being sort of reconstituted, and he comes back during the reign of the Supermen. There were 4 beings claiming to be Superman, and he was one of them. He was the cyborg Superman.
Say that, cyborg Superman. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So when, and again, spoiler, we're in spoiler territory here. The first time that we see his eyes turn red, I was like, oh, wow, are they going to do the cyborg thing? And surprise, they've changed everything with this. And actually, they've combined a classic element and history of the character of Martian Manhunter with Hank Henshaw. And they've neatly kind of tied up Kara Danvers, or Kara Zor-El, her storyline, and how Hank Henshaw sort of ties into that. I don't want to give too much away.
This is what the CW does. This is what they do. They take established canon in the DC universe and kind of twist it to their own liking. They kind of combine characters, basically.
Well, I think this was done by CBS, but Jeff Johns and Greg Berlanti were a part of the process. So there was definitely, and Jeff Johns is, say what you want to about him, some of the stuff that he's written has been absolutely brilliant in comics. So to have his hand in it and how they've kind of tied things together has, while it's different from the comics, is still well crafted. And they took some time and made some changes, but made them make sense. That's the best way I think I can describe that. So all in all, it's like I said, we're episode 10 or 11, I think now.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
It's the episode after his reveal. So I think it's
10
or 11. So we're only almost halfway through the season, and it's been pretty good. It's definitely, I feel like they've been working towards having a strong role model. They deal with the use of girl as opposed to woman, and some other topics, females in business and females in general, and things that, and of course I'm a dude, so I don't really understand that, but seeing this kind of put in this context helps me appreciate some of the issues that women can run into in day-to-day life that I have no idea really how that plays out. I know of it, but I will never experience it because I'm a dude. So
yeah, there are a lot of strong female characters on this show, because you have Kara, you have what's the boss?
Cat Grant.
You have Kara's sister.
Yep.
Alex
Danvers.
A couple other pretty strong
We've
female.
got Lucy Lane.
Yeah. Have you guys gotten to the Flash crossover yet?
No.
I saw the Flash crossover, but I don't think. Have you? You never saw it? Oh. I think it was on Hulu, and then I think it went away before you could see it.
I know that you watched a couple of random episodes here and there, but I never actually watched any Supergirl till recently.
Okay.
There's a funny scene that Cat Grant there's a funny quote that Cat Grant says that's very apropos to what's going on now with Supergirl moving to CW.
Yeah.
Very funny.
But it's really sad that Cat Grant's character is only going to be around for a little bit, and then her character will go away.
Hey,
all budgetary stuff because
Well,
they
no.
CBS
Well-
to CW, right?
It's not budgetary.
Oh, they moved up north.
Yes. One
Yeah.
of the conditions that she had for appearing on the show is that she wanted to be near her family and, do the work in California, which when they were doing this on CBS, yes, that worked.
I'm
But
sad.
once they moved to CW for cost reasons, they record in Canada.
Mhm.
So they will be kind of moving her to the background and kind of phasing her out. So
But I don't think she's.
Ooh.
I think she'll be back.
I think she will definitely make some appearances from time to time, but she's not going to be a series regular. So
All right. So I have a question before we move on. Who's your favorite characters, both of you, in Supergirl?
See, I don't even remember his name now because Kat always calls him different names. Wit.
Win?
He's like
Yeah.
Wit.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Win. He's interesting.
He kind of reminds me of Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
He's got like a Cisco vibe.
He is.
I'm torn between Alex and Jimmy Olsen, actually. I mean, I like Supergirl and Kara's character, but the supporting people, I think, really helped define her character, and her sister having the struggles of a superpowered sister and how she has to deal with it and how they work together
Right.
has been very, very interesting storytelling. So
And I do like Kara and how awkward she is at times because you always think of superheroes. They've got their crap together and they're good to go because they're superheroes. And they kind of give her more of a human side, like, hey, everybody's awkward no matter if you're an earthling or from elsewhere.
Yeah. I like how Kara and Alex kind of get together at the end of a lot of episodes and just
So is it Kira or Kara?
it's Kara.
Kara.
Okay.
Kara
Cat Grant calls her Kira.
Yeah, because I just remember one of the earlier episodes. She's like, hey, Kira. And like Kara was walking away and she's like, it's Kara. And that's the only time that I ever heard her correcting or, even under her breath, Cat Grant. Because when I initially started watching Supergirl, it was just on the CW app. And each week they would drop a couple of episodes and put some more up. And I missed quite a few episodes. And I'm like, what's her name? Because I missed that little bit where she was like, it's Kara. And so, yeah, it wasn't until Brad and I started watching it from the beginning on Netflix that I heard her name. But then everybody's saying Kira. And I'm like, wait, how do you say her name? So, sorry. I'm so confused.
I was confused as well for a while. I was in your boat. I understand. All right, cool. We'll put the link in the show notes. So in case you guys, you listeners, have not enjoyed the brilliance that is Supergirl, you can check it out. Oh, by the way, you guys have to do your flying saucer rankings. How are you guys going to do this? Each of you going to rank it differently?
We can, sure.
Or one combined super rank?
By your forces combined.
And she get like a total of 8 or something.
No, I think we'll do the 5 flying saucers. I think my vote would be, I'd give it a 3.5.
All right, that's healthy.
I'd give it a 4. But then again, like I don't have a whole lot of background to like go off on. It's just strictly enjoyment. Like, hey. So
Yeah, I don't think
Be
you
like,
really.
oh, this character used to be this, or this character.
In all honesty,
And
that can get in the way. So
it's like I'm just kind of clueless most superhero shows. I'm like, hey, this is entertaining, yay!
You know what I do what I do, Anessa? This is kind of fun. Is if a character shows up, I'll pause and I'll look it up, or I'll let it go, or I'll pause and it'll drive my wife crazy. So I'll pause, look it up on Wikipedia, this new character, and then I'll kind of read the back history of where he or she appeared in the DC universe.
If I really want to know about a character, then usually after the episode, I'll be like, so was so-and-so in the comics? And I'll just ask Brad because he's a walking encyclopedia of comics.
Yeah.
So if it's something that kind of sticks to my mind, I'm like, hey, were they really in the comics? Or is that how they came to be? Is that really their origin story? But yeah, I mean, I've never been so motivated or inclined enough to pause a show to look up a character.
Right.
And so I'm like, I just want to see the episode and keep on going. If I have questions, I'll figure them out later.
Keep on trucking. That's Anessa's motto. All right.
Yep. Keep on trucking.
Word.
All right. So my pick / warning, it's a little bit of both, is alien abduction incident in Lake County, Minnesota. It's a pseudo-documentary horror film, part of the McPherson tape. It was a movie that was originally a TV special that aired on the UPN. Remember the UPN, guys?
Oh, yes.
United Paramount Network, when it was separate from the WB, and then they combined and made the CW.
Yep.
Okay, so it aired in 1998. It's about a teenager in Lake County, Minnesota, who is making a home movie of his family's Thanksgiving dinner when they're attacked and ultimately abducted by extraterrestrials. The film caused commotion and confusion and controversy, the 3 C's, among first-time viewers, many of whom believed it portrayed real events and did not realize it was fictional. Now, this was a time in media where this was a popular thing to do, because this is around the same time as Alien Autopsy. Remember that, Jim?
Yep.
And it's kind of in the same vein where people could not get away with this in this day and age because we are so used to found footage, and we're also a lot smarter when it comes to knowing what fake and real video looks like, because this was supposedly like VCR tape, but whenever the tape like fizzed out, it was totally not what a VCR tape would have looked like if it would have like stopped recording or lost a piece, because they're like, oh, this is a missing piece. What happened in this missing piece? And it was really cheesy kind of effects to give that supposed what happened with the tape. Also, the so-called experts, you could tell the difference between the real experts and the fake experts a mile away, or
of course,
1.5 kilometers away. Because there's real, like there was Stanton Friedman was in this. He was like one of the real experts, like the real, like, oh, what we think happened here is blah, 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 and this wouldn't happen in real life or whatever, it was one of those situations. So I could see how people would be confused back in the day that this was it or wasn't a real documentary. We're not really sure. So, but I stand by my ground that you could not get away with this kind of thing in this day and age. There was a popular, I don't know, I think it was the early 90s, a British TV network. I don't think it was the BBC. I think it was one of the other ones, Channel 4 maybe, did a thing where they supposedly were live at this like haunted house. Have you guys ever heard of this? This haunted house that was haunted. And supposedly all these like crazy ghost things happened on tape, and they treated it like it was a real thing because they used real reporters.
Huh.
It freaked people out. Like, people totally believed that this was actually going on. Turned out it was totally, completely made up. So the 90s were a hotbed for these type of shows. And you can totally watch this for free on archive.org. And I will put the link in the show notes. I'm going to give it 2.5 flying saucers. Because it's terrible. The acting is terrible, and I can't believe that people actually believed it was a real thing.
Wah, wah. Oh, sorry.
We will put the links in the show notes to check out our picks or warnings if you want to dare check them out for yourself. If you'd like to chat with the hosts of our podcasts or other listeners, like, for example, Brad's brushing his teeth. He has his phone sitting right there waiting for a notification to come in. Bling, bling. Oh, it's somebody on Slack. Oh, hey, it's Joe Smith. He's a big fan of the alien invasion. He wants to talk to Brad. And Brad's more than happy to pick up his phone and say, hey, Joe, or whatever the name I just said. I forget. That could be you. You could be Joe Smith, and you could talk to Brad anytime, day or night, via our Slack group. Slack is a great application and a web app where you can chat in real time with people. And we'd love to get you on board. And how you do that is by going to gncasts.com/signup. We'll add you to our Slack team, lickety-split. Just like that. Well, it won't be that instantaneous because I have to get the email address and I have to put it in manually. So it might take a day or two, but you'll get there eventually. gncasts.com/signup. Also, at our website, you can find out more about this show at gncasts.com/aliens, or subscribe to this podcast and our other ones on the Galactic Network by going to gncasts.com/subscribe, or search for the Alien Invasion on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or anywhere other podcasts are offered. Okay, final thoughts time. Brad, you're first. What do you got?
I can't wait to continue watching Supergirl.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly.
That's the actual theme from the Superman movie.
I was going to
Yes,
say
it
that's
is.
Superman.
I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Don't go to Netflix and get the Supergirl TV show confused with Supergirl the movie, because that's a terrible watch, as far as I remember.
Well, Helen Slater plays their mother.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And Dean Cain plays their dad.
And you know who's going to be the president of the United States in the new season?
Yes, Wonder Woman.
Linda Carter. Wonder Woman.
Linda Carter.
Yep. Anessa, what's your final thought? You got one?
Yep. They say love hurts, but so does gas.
Alrighty then. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Alien Invasion, a Galactic Network podcast. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
You guys are awesome.